please have your attention? Candidates for the mission, the guest speaker at the conclusion of his or her remarks will instruct you that in accordance with your pre-assigned numerical order, you are to each stand separately, announce your name, and then resume your seat. At the conclusion of the proceedings, the guests remain in their seats until all the candidates have filed out of the courtroom in the same numerical order in which they entered. The candidates will be led to the third floor foyer, where they will sign the test book and receive their certificates. Guests are asked to wait for the candidates on either the first or the third floor. Guests are also asked to hold your applause until after the ceremony. Oyez. All persons have any business with the Honorable Court of Appeals of Maryland, draw here and give consent. The court is now in session. God save the state and the Honorable Court. Please be seated.
Good morning, all, and welcome. Thank you. That is nice. Welcome, everyone, to Maryland State Supreme Court, the oldest appellate court in the nation and known for more than 300 years as the Court of Appeals of Maryland. The ancestry of the court can be traced back to the mid-17th century. That's, of course, more than 100 years before the American Revolution. The scarlet robes and white tabs that we wear are part of this court's heritage. This is the judicial attire that was worn by our predecessors immediately after the American Revolution. I will not take up your time to review the long history of the Court of Appeals or of the Bar of Maryland. You don't want me to do that. Surely to include, though, you, the women and men who are seated before the court today. I would, though, like to mention just a few of the most notable members of the bar. You may recall from your history books or your readings in your years of preparation for this day, Samuel Chase, who was, after all, an early member of the United States Supreme Court. We all know of Francis Scott Key, who, as you know, wrote our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, and you may recall that just this past year we celebrated its bicentennial. And of course there is Justice Thurgood Marshall, a much more recent member of the United States Supreme Court than Samuel Chase, but there are those of us in this room who remember Thurgood Marshall, and we are so proud to call him one of our own, a member of this fine bar. Let us now, though, turn to the matter at hand. For you, the main event, you're being sworn in, pardon me, as lawyers of this court. We, of course, will do that, but we always require, and today will not be an exception, a light dose or sprinkling of commencement day rhetoric to be delivered by a distinguished Maryland lawyer. Accordingly, for that purpose, I call upon Ms. Diane Bristow, who is president of the Women's Bar Association of Maryland. Ms. Bristow, good morning and welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the Court, Chief Judge Mary Ellen Barbera, distinguished judges of the Court, successful candidates of the Bar of the State of Maryland, family, friends, and guests. It is my honor and privilege to be here today to move the admission of these candidates to the Maryland State Bar. With the Court's permission, Chief Judge Barbera, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce the members of the Court of Appeals to the assembled applicants and to their guests and friends. We're starting here on our left, and this is the Honorable Robert N. McDonald of Baltimore County. The Honorable Clayton Green, Jr. of Anne Arundel County. The Honorable Glenn T. Harrell, Jr. of Prince George's County. Chief Judge Mary Ellen Barbera of Montgomery County. The Honorable Lynn A. Battaglia of Howard County. The Honorable Sally D. Atkins of Wacomico County. and the Honorable Shirley M. Watts of Baltimore City. The court has asked me to speak briefly to you today as new admittees to the Maryland Bar. First, I want to extend my heartfelt congratulations to all of the bar candidates on this great accomplishment, and I extend my best wishes to each of you for a successful, exciting, and prosperous future in the chosen legal profession. I welcome each of you to the legal community and eagerly look forward to meeting you in Bar Association meetings. I am delighted to have this opportunity to share in the joy of this special day, one of the great milestones of your life. Today is a day of celebration for both you and your family and friends. The trials and tribulations of law school are not typically experienced solely by the law student. It also impacts his or her family who have sacrificed through the years of schooling as well. This is a proud moment for you and your family and friends who have supported you through the long days and nights of law school classes, the clinical practicum, and the anxiety of the bar exam. So this is your day to rejoice. It is your day to recognize all of your hard work and to congratulate yourself on pursuing your dreams and reaching your goal. Today, as you celebrate your success and realize the reward of your hard work and sacrifice, take time to express your thanks to the family members and friends who have helped and encouraged you to get where you are today. Your accomplishment today, however, should not be your last accomplishment. As a licensed attorney, you have the power to change many things for the better, if you so choose. So I hope that you will choose a path that will make a positive difference in this world. Today, I would like to share with you some words from our 16th president, who was a lawyer, from my mentors over the years, and from my own personal experiences as a lawyer. Abraham Lincoln's notes on the practice of law are as pertinent today as they were over 165 years ago. Lincoln stated, "The leading role for a lawyer, as for the man of every other calling, is diligence. Leaving nothing for tomorrow which can be done today, never let your correspondence fall behind. Whatever piece of business you have in hand, before stopping, do all the labor pertaining to which can be done." So abide by Lincoln's words and strive to be the best that you can be. Endeavor to gain extensive knowledge about the area of practice and keep your knowledge up to date by taking classes, attending conferences and seminars, and by seeking out and accepting advice from others. Be gracious with the wisdom imparted, even if you choose not to follow it, because you may need to ask advice from the same person in the future. Communicate with your clients and with opposing counsel. Keep your clients informed of what is happening on a case. Make it a rule to return client phone calls within 24 hours. Communicate, but avoid giving your clients your cell phone number unless it is really necessary. Phone calls on Christmas, Thanksgiving, or Yom Kippur can wait until the holiday ends. Be passionate about your work. Work to effect positive and long-lasting changes in the profession or the society at law. Love what you're doing, but if you can't do what you love at your job because you need to pay those long-due educational loans, do some pro bono work that you love. Seek out and accept pro bono clients. Pro bono work can take many forms. If you don't have a job, offering your services to a pro bono organization will assist you in gaining experience and might assist you in securing a job as a result of that experience. Pro bono organizations like the Maryland Volunteer Lawyers Association actually provides training in exchange for accepting a pro bono case. So there's an opportunity for practical educational experience through your pro bono work. If you are in a law firm, your pro bono experience will enable you to appear in court before you are given that first opportunity by the law firm. If time does not permit for you to take on a client Or if you're not intending to practice in the court, you can still give back to the community by participating on a single day in a pro bono event sponsored by your local bar association. Pro bono experiences can be the most rewarding experiences of your career. The cases that I am most proud of and which have been most rewarding are not those in which I won a case for my corporate client, but the ones where I changed the life of someone who needed someone else to speak for them. Abraham Lincoln also said, "Persuade your neighbors to compromise whenever you can. Point out to them how the nominal winner is often a real loser in fees, expenses, and a waste of time." As a peacemaker, the lawyer has a superior opportunity of being a good man, and I edit, and woman, now that we are 165 years later. How can you achieve compromise? One method is to know your opponent. Join local and specialty bar associations. Some bar associations will give you free admissions for your first year. Take advantage of it. Whether you have a job with a firm, a company, the government, or the public sector, it is important to be part of your local bar association. Your fellow bar association attorneys can help you in your career. You will discover that it is easier to negotiate a deal or a settlement with someone you have come to know. In everything you do, exude professionalism. Appear in court on time, stand up when addressing the court, dress appropriately, treat the court staff with respect. These simple steps may seem obvious, but far too often they are not followed. Treat your opposing counsel and the opposing party with respect. Be civil. In a speech in 1856, Abraham Lincoln stated, "You can fool all of the people some of the time, and some of the people all of the time, but you cannot fool all of the people all of the time." Keep this in mind when communicating with opposing counsel, striking the next corporate deal, appearing before the court, and when communicating with your clients. Be honest, be diligent, be trustworthy. And if you have the great opportunity someday to appear before this court, remember, you cannot fool any of these judges any of the time. Finally, remember throughout your career what's important in life. Take care of your health and cherish your family and friends. If you neglect the rest of your life, you will burn out quickly. So maintain a healthy balance between developing your career, maintaining your health, and supporting and being with family and friends. Now, with the court's permission, I move the admission to the Bar of Maryland, the candidates seated here before you. I request, in accordance with your pre-assigned numerical order, starting with the candidate here in front of the podium, that the candidates please stand individually, announce your full name, and then resume your seat.
Victoria Olusadilora Oladapo.
Arlen Sawyer Delta.
Betsy Ann Dallin.
Timothy J. Gassman.
Melissa Erin Dar. Mary Michaelia David. Zara Nora Day. Emily Cannon.
Dr. Benedict Del Corso, the fourth.
W. Michelle Gizu. Tina Marie Dubois.
Justin Alexander Nicole. Luis Alfredo Diaz.
Tina Marie Consiano Dixon. Sarah Dara Demon. Casey Jane Noble. Danielle Marie Dolch.
Ernie Dominguez. Philip Murphy Donovan.
Amy Nicole Dowden. Victoria Nicole Eagles. Derek Elizabeth Earl.
Andrew Stewart Ellinger.
Marcus Melvin Destiny.
Hillary Grace Evans.
Lee Lockwood Hewitt.
Brian Edward Newman.
Bernard Charles Height.
Miriam Clyde Holder.
Darren Alexander Miller.
Sean Marinado. Catherine Bells Lilly. Sandra Maria Fitzgerald.
Sean Michael Fitzgerald.
Daniel Elizabeth Flush.
Henry Earl Floyd Jr.
Janice Marie Fleming.
Megan Kelly Ford.
Kimberly Paige Franks.
Cecilia Bernice Franks.
Yehuda Yitzchak Talai.
Rena Mahesh Gandhi. Sasha Queenie Garcon.
Patrick Donald Gardner.
Audrey Marion Gardner Brody. Lori Diane Gary. Brittany Patrice Voss.
Justice Lee Petty.
Paula Jill Ann Wood.
Keith Omar Gilmore.
Justin Michael Ginsburg.
Alice Joan Gomez.
Michael Stephen Good.
Christina Melissa Goodwin.
Aaron Michael Brown.
Michelle Antoinette Greer.
Carlos Almeida, Dante Grover. Alejandro Gutierrez Jr.
Jordana Esther Guzman. Lorena Mahmoud. Aaron Patrice Hales. Lena Nadine Halassa. Courtney Alexander Mann.
Warren Alexander Johnson Person.
Hannah Marie Pacquiao. Tanita Denise Hawkins.
Vaughn Brian.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Bristow, for those wise, practical, and I like that bit at the end in particular. I now call upon my colleague, Judge Robert McDonald, to respond to the motion of Ms. Bristow on behalf of the court.
On behalf of the court, I welcome you to the Maryland Bar. It took a lot of, as Ms. Bristow pointed out, a lot of work and dedication on your part and on the part of those who supported you, and I commend you for your efforts. Ms. Bristow has given you some very good advice. It's hard to top Abraham Lincoln. And I hope you will remember and apply it. I really can't improve upon her advice, but I thought I might try to answer one question that might be going through the minds of some of you in the courtroom. Some of you may be wondering whether there's a boys' side and a girls' side to the Court of Appeals. The answer is no. We're sitting in order of seniority, so it's a very able Chief Justice under her leadership. You're about to take an oath, but unlike most people who take oaths in courtrooms, you won't answer any questions today. There are two kinds of oaths. One is called a declaratory oath. That's the type of oath that is administered when a witness takes the stand. The witness declares that whatever he or she is about to say is the truth to the best of the person's knowledge. The other kind of oath is called a promissory oath, and that's the type of oath you're about to take. In a promissory oath, you're making a pledge or promise. Most professions don't have an oath as a condition of their licensing. Doctors may subscribe to the Hippocratic Oath in medical school, but it's generally not a requirement for a medical license. Lawyers throughout the world have taken promissory oaths for centuries. Some are quite long and require a lawyer to pledge to abide by a lot of specific ethical rules. Some oaths have fancy and antiquated language in which the lawyer, for example, promises not to prosecute a case out of malice or delay one for lucre. In ancient Rome, new lawyers pledged to avoid artifice and circumlocution, and in other countries and states to abstain from cavil, chicanery, and offensive personality. I know you don't have to promise to do any of that. Our oath in Maryland is pretty simple, but it still gets to the essence of things. In that oath, you're going to pledge to do four things: to conduct yourself fairly and honorably. Sometimes we lose sight of this in our effort to be zealous on behalf of a client, but that's our pledge. Second, to bear allegiance to the state of Maryland. Whatever your particular role as an attorney turns out to be, you have a calling to serve in some way the people of this state. Third, to support the laws and Constitution of Maryland. And fourth, finally, above all, to be true to the U.S. Constitution and the supreme law of the land. If you're a naturalized citizen or if you've served in the military or held public office, you've done that before, but for many of you, this may be the first time. Most of you probably don't know where this profession is going to take you or what you will do with the license you're about to get. But wherever you're headed, staying true to that oath is how you get there. Now, some years ago, I was at a bar admission ceremony where the presiding judge told the new attorneys that he hoped they would have clients with lots of problems and lots of money. But that really isn't the wish that I have for you. My hope is that you're lucky enough to have a job where you find the work meaningful. You get to work with people who are dedicated to the mission and who are intellectually curious and who are fun to be around, even when you disagree with them. And we're about to lose one of our co-workers up here that fits that description on the boys' side of the bench. Judge Harold, this is Judge Harold's last day as an active judge before he retires, and we're all going to miss him. Maybe one day one of you will take that seat, or this seat. And so best of luck in your future career. Congratulations on your achievement. May you use your skills wisely and well. The court has authorized me to advise you that Ms. Bristow's motion has been granted. And if you'll now rise and face the clerk of the court, Ms. Bessie Decker, she will administer the oath.
Candidates, please raise your right hand and repeat the oath in unison after me. I state your full name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will at all times demean myself fairly and honorably as an attorney and practitioner at law. That I will bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland and support the laws and Constitution thereof. And that I will bear true allegiance to the United States. And that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution. Laws and government thereof. As the supreme law of the land. Any law or ordinance of this or any state. To the contrary notwithstanding. You may be seated.
It's a big moment indeed. Allow me now to add to the sentiments so well expressed by my colleague, Judge McDonald, with my heartiest congratulations and warm welcome to you. You are now officially our brothers and sisters at the bar. As of today, you join the ranks of many other men and women who've been called to this noble profession. Know that the court expects and has no doubt that each of you, throughout the many years of your practice, you will support and enhance the fine profession of which we are all so fortunate to be members. In that vein, and here sometimes it just works out this way, I echo Ms. Bristow's comments as well as the comments of my brother, Judge McDonald. I'm going to urge you to find some way in the ensuing months and years to use your knowledge, the trust and confidence this court has placed in you, and your newly acquired status as members of the bar to engage in some form of pro bono or low bono or some other type of public service to the people of Maryland, the people who seek to have full and fair access to our courts. Finally, let me note this court's recognition, and again, I echo the sentiments of Ms. Bristow when I say this. We recognize, as I know you do, that you would simply not be here today were it not for the ever-present support and encouragement of your families and friends. On your behalf, permit me to express to them your heartfelt thanks and your deepest appreciation, coupled with your pledge to them. Beginning today, you will begin with your own personal crusade to add additional luster to the bar of this court and to the legal profession of our fine state. On that note, the court will adjourn until 11:30 this morning. In the meantime, it may well be in order to give this newest class of Maryland lawyers a round of applause.
We got to send her pictures.